Hello, beer tubers. Peter, the Master of Hoppets, here with a very special episode of the Master of Hoppets, because today we're in Bamberg. I'm here with the Bad Seed crew, Freddie and Rasmus. We're going to be touring Schlenkerla Brewery, and we're going to head to the tavern and drink some beer as well. So we have a tour with Martin, the old brewmaster of Schlenkerla. It's going to be great fun, so see you there.
Welcome to Schlenkerla. My name is Martin. I'm the elder brewmaster here. 26 years in the company, and for maybe 20 years I was a brewmaster, and I retired step by step. Since 2 years I'm totally retired, so one time, 2 times a week, brewery tours. Yeah, the history of Schlenkerla is starting in the year 1405. It's the first document of the house when now the tavern is. In former times was a brewery and a restaurant downtown in the Dominikanerstraße. It was in this document written that this is the house at the Blue Lion. In the Middle Age we had no street names, no house numbers. Only house names, and this was the house name was the Blue Lion. And the Blue Lion is lying on top of the tavern room if you go in afterwards. And in 1738, here, Johann Wolfgang Heller bought the brewery, and it was the first time that the owner's name was brought in connection with the brewery. And the official company name is today Heller Brewery, according to Johann Wolfgang Heller and his family. His family owned the brewery over 3 generations. The last generation was without children, so the owner changed. And the family story of Schlenkerla with the family Graser-Trum starts in 1866. In this year, Konrad Graser bought the brewery. He was a very successful brewmaster in Bamberg, in another brewery at the Michaelsberg. He had this brewery over 26 years, but it was only, he didn't own it. He was only Pächter. And his son, Andreas Graser, gave the brewery the actual name. Andreas Graser was very tall, and he walked in this way and did with his arms always in this way. And in the Bamberg idiom, this motion is called Schlenkern. Yeah? And so he was the guy who schlenkered with his arm, and he's got the Schlenkerla, and he's got the Schlenkerla, and the company's got the Schlenkerla, and so time by time a nickname became a brand name.
Yeah.
Andreas Graser's son, Michael Graser, owned the brewery from 1907, and he moved the brewery from downtown here to the Stephansberg. In the year 1920, you could buy this area behind this wall, and as first he used the cellars, and second he built the brew house and the rest of and then all the brewery here. We are producing Rauchbier, smoked beer, because we are coning our malt we produce ourselves in a very traditional way. In former times, kilning of malt was only possible with wood fire. Yeah? You need hot air for kilning the malt, and hot air was made by burning wood. And here around Bamberg we have many beechwood trees, and so our ancestors took the beechwood trees or the beechwood for kilning the malt, and the beechwood has a very strong smoky taste. Yeah? And so the beer from this malt has always also a very strong smoky taste. Yeah? Oil and gas burners were taken for heating the kilns with the beginning of the 20th century. And so the smoky taste disappeared from all the malts in Central Europe and also from all the beers except Bamberg. Because Bamberg people would like to stay at their old-fashioned beer style, and so many breweries stayed by producing the malts themselves and kilning the malts over beechwood fire. And after World War II, we had in Bamberg still 4 breweries who produced so, and now we are 2, the brewery Spezial and we are both passengers in the arc of the good taste at Slow Food. And thereabout we are very proud both. Yeah. We are going through the brewery, we are looking at the place where we burn the wood. We go into the brew house and into the cellar, and in the cellar we may taste some beer. Yeah?
Ja,
Okay.
hammergeil.
Okay, let's walk. So here we are burning the beechwood, and at the end there's a fan which takes the smoky gases and presses it through the green malt.
Okay.
And the result. This is smoke malt. You may eat it. Here we have a picture of an old kiln, brasserie in French, brewery. And here they burn the wood. Here on top is lying the green malt, and the smoky gases go through, and so the green malt gets dry, but always also smoked. Yeah. We're going upstairs. There you see the kiln. It's now empty, but that you have a little impression of the kiln. Yeah? Yeah, when you're starting, the green malt is at about this level, and at the end of the kilning, you're on this level. Yeah? And 5 tons of barley, 4 tons of malt afterwards. Yeah? The kiln lasts about 20 hours. Yeah?
20 hours.
20 hours. Yeah?
To dry.
To dry. Yeah. And from the color, we make a Munich style malt. Yeah?
Okay.
The Heller style is not with smoke grain.
No, the Helles is made of Pilsner malt, which we buy on the market.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? But it has a very, very low level smoky taste, because we do the fermentation with the same yeast.
Yeah.
And the yeast is transporting the smoky taste from the smoke beer to the non-smoke beer.
Very lovely smell in here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Huh?
It almost smells like being at a barbecue smokehouse in Texas or something, but it's small. Oh wow, yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, I told that Mighty brother, the son of Mr. Schlenkerla, bought this area in 1920, and at first he used the cellars for lagering the beer. And in 1936 he built this brew house in this farm as is today still here. Yeah? The vessels were renewed in 1980. The interior of the vessels is stainless steel, only on top we have copper. The original brew house was totally in copper. And in 1993, the first automatic process leading system was implanted here, and the software was renewed in 2006. And next year we get the next software update. And because we have an automatic process leading system, we can brew all around the clock without any person here in. Yeah? And we are using at nearly every beer style a TMOH decoction technology. And because we have a brewers with two vessels, a brew lasts about 8 hours. Yeah? And so we can do in 24 hours 3 brews, and this 4 days a week from Monday to Thursday. You can do in 1 week 12 brews. One brew is not normally 50 hectoliters, only the bock beers have 33 hectoliters. And so we can do, when we have a normal week, 12 brews with 50 hectoliters, 600 hectoliters of hot wort, or 540 hectoliters of beer to sour. When I started in 1997, we had 3 beer styles. Today we have 13. Yeah.
And the beer styles when you began?
The Märzen, the Lager, and the Urbock. Urbock was very, very small, only for the bock time here in Bamberg. It starts in October and lasts till January 6th. As the first was the wheat beer, Mainz. Then the oak smoke, the double bock, the land beer, summer beer. Was haben wir noch? 3 beer styles with very low level alcohol called Hansler or Heinzlein. I think you know it.
Yeah.
And 1 beer which we brew for the monastery of St. Michael at the Michael's Mountain, where in former times till 1803 was a monastery, and this brewery, and the brewery is closed, but there's a museum inside. Yeah? And I'm the chairman of the museum.
Okay.
So you introduced the double.
Yeah.
Well done.
Thanks.
Beautiful beer.
Yeah, but can't drink much of it.
Yeah.
You can, but you will regret it.
Yeah, very, very sleepy.
Yeah.
So the brewery was installed here in 1930s?
1936, yeah.
And then before that, where was the beer brewed?
In the tavern, and in the restaurant, in the cellar.
Okay.
Yeah, and in the backside.
Yeah.
And it was very small, and here we could grow.
Yes. So it was a 50 hectoliter system.
50 hectoliter
Also
system.
in 1930.
Yeah. The amount of the vessel was the same. Yeah.
But it must be been a difficult time to start a brewery and with the war and
Yeah, after World War II it was very, very difficult. You didn't get any barley. The hops were very, very, and the beers which were brewed between 1945 and 1949, when the D-Mark came in Germany, were very, very low level with original gravity. Yeah. Yeah. There was nothing here. And it took some years to get the agriculture that it grew all the Selbstwirtschaft economy. Yeah. It started so slow.
Yeah.
With the implementing of the D-Mark, it was better.
What about these new beers you launched this year? So there was the Weichsel and the Erle.
Yeah, this was this year.
Yeah.
Very new. This is with other wood. Weichsel is a sour cherry, yeah? And Erle is a normal tree. I don't know the English expression.
It's called the
for it.
alder wood in English, I think. Alder.
Huh?
Similar to Erle.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, Erle is a red beer, yeah? And the Weichsel is a red beer, and Erle is a black beer, yeah. Very dark beer, yeah. Yeah? With yes, this carafa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the idea of using different wood for smoking the malt is really cool.
Yeah.
Because different woods really impart different flavors.
Yeah.
The flavor you get from, for example, fruit wood is much softer and elegant than,
Yeah.
say, a hardwood.
Yeah.
So I think that's a really cool idea, and especially for such a historic brewery like
Yeah.
Schlenkerla to experiment with that, I think is pretty amazing. Because you do it the best.
Yeah. I said to my boss one time, we could take all the Christmas trees and burn it, and we make a Christmas malt and a Christmas beer from it.
A bock that lagers, so you brew it in January and then it lagers the whole year. And
The bock is lagering half a year. The double bock.
Yeah. Half a year?
Half a year.
Wow.
Yeah. And the normal bock, 12 weeks, 15 weeks about. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
In the bottle.
Hmm?
In the bottles.
no, in the lagering tanks. Yeah. About 10 meters below the ground, and in a cellar which is about 800 years old.
Wow.
Wow.
The Stephansberg was mined out to get sand for cleaning and for building. And we have many cellars in the Stephansberg like this one, and they are all connected. So you can do a tour underground here in Bamberg. Yeah? And the cellars stood empty. And any time the brewers found out that they could lager their beer here in, yeah? And from this cellar is a document lying in the Church of St. Stephen, their dust. And in this document is written that in the year 1387, a brewer named Eberlein lagered the first time his beer here in. And from this year, from 1387, this cellar is used for making beer. Yeah? And cellars like this one were very, very important to spread the bottom fermenting beer style in Central Europe. Yeah? The original fermentation was a top fermentation. Yeah? Top fermenting yeast needs a little bit higher temperatures than the bottom fermenting yeast, at above 15 degrees and more. And the bottom fermenting yeast has always no metabolism at 0 degrees. And here, I told it in the germination room, we have all over the year a temperature at about 10 degrees. It's too cold for the top fermenting yeast. And so cellars like this one were very important to spread the bottom fermenting beer style, which is in Europe with the beginning of the 14th century. And to keep the cellars cold, the brewers planted trees above. Trees make shadow in the summer, and shadow makes that the floor doesn't get warm, and when the floor doesn't get warm, the cellar below also doesn't get warm. Yeah? And any time they found out upstairs trees, downstairs the beer, they placed tables and chairs and tapped the beer on top of the cellar, and therefore you go in Bamberg on a cellar, because you're sitting on top of the cellar. I was asked how long the März is lagering here. The stronger beer, the longer the lager time. Märzen is original gravity of 13.5%, and it needs about 6 or 8 weeks.
13.5.
13.5. And the Bock, original gravity 16.5, needs 12-15 weeks, and the Doppelbock, original gravity 19.5, needs 26 weeks, half a year. The fermentation cellar was the first that was renewed in 1980. We have tanks.
In the 80s.
Tanks, but without pressure. And it's very much more easier to get them clean. A closed tank. You make cleaning in place, and so it runs.
And you changed this method in the 80s, you say?
Yeah, and those cellars, also the lagering cellars, we started the first one in 2008, then 2011, this one, this 2014, beside the stair, this one in 2015, and the last we built in 2017.
When did you start shipping beer to the States? I've seen this where you fill a whole tank and then you have it packaged in America. That's crazy.
It's a retailer in America. He bought a own filling system for cans. And the Lagerhell, he gets in a tank and he fills it in cans in America, and so you get Schlenkerla in cans. We only fill bottles.
Yeah.
We have the Landbier is unfiltered. Someone know the Untergierigen. The low-level alcohol beers are unfiltered, and was haben wir noch? The summer beer, the Kreuzen is also unfiltered. Yeah?
Okay.
And the wheat beer. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you
All
make,
other beers are filtered.
Okay.
when you make the special edition unfiltered
Yeah.
Hills Lager beer,
Yeah.
that's one of my favorite beers
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
I love it.
This was at first for our Sweden customers. They ordered a unfiltered lager, and so we do it 2 times in a year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
best time of year.
How do you filter it? I think you mentioned it before, but I didn't catch it.
With we filter in 2 steps. The first step is diatomaceous earth, and the second step is sheets.
Okay.
Is this inspired by, or is it similar to Nürnberger Rauchbier?
Yeah,
One
yeah.
Inspired by it? Or?
Yeah, inspired by Nürnberg. Yeah.
Yeah. Because
Because
that's a
you
beer
have
style.
it's not only the smoky taste, also the color that differences the beers.
Yeah. And Rotbier, is that
It's a
Nürnberg?
Yeah, it's a very special Nürnberg beer, and the Nürnberg Rauchbier was the first bottom fermented beer in Germany.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We have a document from the Secretary of Town in Nürnberg from about 1320.
Wow.
Yeah? And there he writes about the road beer, and he says it is a cold lagered beer. And cold lagered beer is bottom fermented.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
When you made Eike, you changed the wood. What was some of the considerations of changing the wood?
It was an experiment. Just to look what comes out. Yeah. And it was a very fine. The smoky taste is very different to the beechwood. It's a little finer and some fruity aromas there in the oaks. If you drink the Eiche Doppelbock with a temperature at about 18 degrees, you would smell vanilla. Yeah?
Did you choose oak Eiche
Yeah.
because it was a double buck you were making?
Nee.
Or did you choose a double buck because you were using
We had the oak smoked malt lying in a silo, and we didn't know what we should do with it. And so I said to my boss, we have a Madsen, we have a bock, let's make a double bock.
So we just had an amazing time at Schlenkerla. We got to see the brewery, got to see so much history, and one of the biggest things, we got to drink fresh Märzen straight from the lagering tank. And also the Rotbier. What do you guys think of that experience?
It was huge. Being in a cellar of a legendary German brewery and drinking beer straight from the lagering tank. That's a very special experience, and it's also a very good experience because the beer is so fresh.
Yeah.
It doesn't get any more noble than that in terms of how you can drink beer. So it was a very Braufrisch experience.
Yeah, it was. And a bucket list experience. Thanks a ton for having us on the tour. I mean, it was really, really fun. And just going down there in the cellar, underground, and seeing all those tanks, it was so fun. But the biggest moment was eating the freshly smoked malt
Yes,
that they
was
smoked
big.
themselves. We got to eat it, try it, smell it. And then also, of course, drinking it fresh from the lagering tanks. Then went to the tavern. We had some great food. It's very similar to all the Franconian places here, like very hearty, heavy grandma style food. You had a Haxe, and we had the Zwiebel, so the Rauchbier onion, like an onion stuffed with minced meat, and a Rauchbier sauce with mashed potatoes. And then we did a few beers. We had fresh from the wooden keg, the Urbock, which was great, especially as it warmed. It was maybe a bit too cold to begin with. Then we had the Märzen ones again, straight from wooden tank instead of from the lagering tank. And then we also had the Schwarzbier. all of them were really good. The Schwarzbier is one of the new beers, the Erle. And as you might hear, the bells are ringing, and that's because right now we're gonna go on a Bamberg pub crawl. They're ringing just for us. But hope you guys enjoyed this little brewery tour / hanging out at the Schlenkerla Tavern. It was great fun. What a day so far. It's a bucket list day. Check. So thanks a ton for watching. Thanks a ton to Schlenkerla for having us. And as always, remember to comment, subscribe, check out the Facebook fan page and Twitter and Instagram, and give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And ring the bell for future notifications about videos. And we're going to say cheers and nothing, because now we're going to go in a pub crawl and have something to cheers in. And see you guys in another beer review. Or on the road video even. Cheers. Prost.